Welcome back to the Pop of the Man podcast. I'm your host, Jay. Today is the 119th episode of the Pop of the Man podcast. Joining me today, I have my always loyal co-host, Cord. What's up, Cord?
How you been? How you been? Chaos is a ladder and Trez is climbing. Clutch agent works again. I tried to tell y'all.
We got the president of the Anthony Edwards fan club. We got DeLon with us today. What's up, DeLon?
Who? You got who?
You heard me?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Hi, Jordan.
DeLon is here. And then also joining us today, we got the number one Suns fan in the nation. We got the one and only Cam. What's up, Cam?
Hey, man. Y'all already know what it is. Suns Nation, Brooklyn Nets Nation. We represent.
And you know what we do. We give you our take some basketball, music, and everything in between. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you press that subscribe button. Make sure you press like. If you're listening to this on Apple, Spotify, Tidal, whatever service you may listen to us on, make sure you give us 5 stars, 10 out of 10, whatever rating system they use on any of those streaming services. But no announcements. Straight into the show. It's been a busy week in terms of music and basketball. We're going to start. We're very busy. We're going to start with basketball first. This was the week of the NBA draft, the 2020 NBA draft, which I wouldn't say was very anticipated because it wasn't a class chock full of potential star talent. So, guys, the Timberwolves had the number 1 overall draft pick, Timberwolves being DeLon's team. And they had a couple of choices that made. There was either we could trade this pick for a star. We can draft Anthony Edwards, a shooting guard out of Georgia. We could go with a center and Wiseman and pair him next to Cat. Or they could go for LaMelo Ball, go for the star factor, and hope that he ends up being transcended as LeVar Ball would say and believe he is. What the Timberwolves ended up doing with the number 1 overall draft pick was they took Andrew Wiggins 2.0 / Little Baby 2.0, Anthony Edwards with the number 1 overall draft pick. DeLon, after sitting on this, how do you feel about the number 1 draft pick?
Man, I will say, I feel a lot better than I did a few days ago. So, everyone knows I had my ideal things I wanted to happen with the pick, trade the pick, and some other pieces for Ben Simmons, Brad Beal, or Booker. That Booker thing became very unrealistic. I wanted to draft Wiseman, not necessarily for fit, but just so Cat can move to the 4 for his benefit. Draft LaMelo, just because I wasn't sure what was happening with Malik Beasley. Anthony Edwards, I'm fine with as a player, but man, those interviews the day before the draft scared the hell out of me. This nigga talking about some, yeah, I'm only here. Yeah. I want to play football. If I got drafted right now, I would dip out. Peace. I wouldn't even be here. What else did he say? He said about rapping. Go ahead, Jordan.
He said his mixtape is already. He said he already got some songs ready for his mixtape. He gonna wait till he established though to release it. He said that he said Damian Lillard bars are weak, and he said he don't know what Damian Lillard be talking about on his songs. So I think it's absolutely hilarious.
Facts.
Keep going to the line.
And then he put out the video of him rapping, and I was like, this is the most average thing I've ever heard in my life. So it wasn't like awful. It wasn't good.
No, don't do that.
It was perfectly average. But man, I just hate it because he seems like everything about his personality seems like exactly what Jimmy Butler, the stigma he put on the Timberwolves. Every single thing Jimmy Butler said is in Anthony Edwards. But as a player, it is what it is. I mean, honestly, there weren't too many clear paths. I honestly think that, we would have done better with some others too, but we might do well with Edwards. I don't know. The shortened college season really affected a lot. Of course, that's the time we get the first pick.
So Anthony Edwards, the basketball player, I think he's going to be I think he's actually going to be a good addition to DeLon. I cracked the joke about him being Andrew Wiggins 2.0, Little Baby 2.0, but from what I've seen, he has a way higher motor than Andrew Wiggins. I don't feel like he's going to be the type of guy who just stands around and just does nothing. I actually think I think he seems like to be a pretty good shooter. So I think he'll play well off of D'Lo, and I don't think he too much needs the ball to the point that where he has that ball in his hand. He's like, well, what's D'Lo going to do now? The only question is how good of a defender will he be, because he's going to have to be a good defender eventually, not in the first year, because you guess it's too much. That's just too much responsibility on a rookie to expect him to be offensively productive, and also defend at a level that helps a veteran like D'Lo and helps a veteran like Cat. But hopefully, because he has the tools and he has the
And they
body
vets now.
and he has the athleticism. Yeah, they are vets now. He has the athleticism and he has the physical build in order to be a good defender. It's all about how much time and how much effort he wants to dedicate to that side of the ball. Now, I will admit, he didn't sound like the type of guy who cares about devoting his time to the defensive end. But you have to hope. Hopefully, being in the league humbles him, and when he sees other people cooking his ass, he thinks of stuff like, "Well, I don't." Hope he has that type of
Yeah.
attitude where, like, I don't want nobody just doing me any kind of way, and he ends up stepping up defensively.
And it's not even like
You know-
I don't want him or blah blah blah. It's just the way he sounds in his interviews, it feels like he's just going to be Jarrett Culver 2.0 instead of Andrew Wiggins 2.0, which I love Jarrett Culver as the 7th pick in that draft last year. And we already have a Jarrett Culver. Now, the Timberwolves used to always draft like a small point guard that couldn't do anything. Now, the last few years, it's always been the decent wing who is decent and average at everything, but not transcendent at any one skill. And in the worst case scenario, that's what it could be with Anthony Edwards. In the best case scenario, he fits in perfectly with D'Angelo Russell and Cat, which Wiggins didn't even have the opportunity to do. Come in with two solid teammates like that.
Well, I'll say this about
Yeah.
Edwards. He seemed like more of an athlete than Culver. I really don't know what Culver's supposed to be good at. Like, I really don't. Like, when y'all drafted him, I'm like, I guess I'll see when he get in the league, and I still haven't really seen it. I'm not. Is he supposed to be like a 3-point specialist, a defender, good at passing? Like, and he's really just a guy who's just at everything. At least right now. But I don't know what he was. I don't know what his calling card was supposed to be coming into the league. Cord, the number 2 draft pick, the Warriors took James Wiseman. How do you feel about your boy? Yeah, I know you said you wanted James Wiseman on the Hornets. How do you feel about him going to the Warriors?
I mean, I feel like the Warriors, they need. I'm gonna say this. I want Charlotte to get a big. The Warriors definitely need him more. But the only problem is Clay getting hurt, so they just kind of killed everything. Because I'm gonna say, because like in my mind, I'm thinking Steph, Clay, Wiggins, Dre, Wiseman. You got a solid 5 from top to bottom. He can come in the team with 2. I don't think Drake gonna be an all-star again, but I mean he's still an all-star. So yeah, he'll be on the team with 3 all-stars, a budding star. All he gotta do is come in, set screen, get easy lobs, watch everybody do their thing, and he can progress. But now it's gonna be looking kind of crazy. I'm gonna say this, just in one day alone, his role has progressed drastically. Like, he got to get to work now. Like, he got to be a third option.
And like
He got to get.
And like Clay's injury
just happened quickly.
Yeah, Clay's injury is like a big wrench in what the Warriors were hoping to do, because the Warriors were hoping to make a push for, to contend, push for a title. A lot of people, after the Clippers fell apart in the playoffs last year, a lot of people said, well, the Warriors going to be the second best team in the West. Well, now it's not as clear cut now with Clay going down, because now they had to trade for Oubre. They got Oubre and they got Wiggins on the perimeter. I mean, it's like, Oubre is a good player, but he also had a pretty bad injury. It's a matter of him rebounding from that. It's a matter of Wiggins decides like, oh, I want to be good now. Like, it's a matter of that. And though they don't really have much bench, they don't have really much of a bench either. So it's like, how are they? They got a lot of question marks on their roster that if they had Clay, it would have been less of, and it would have been less stress on him. But now he has to like I said, it's a lot more he's gonna have to do in his rookie season as far as like protecting the paint.
He gotta produce now.
He got to. He got to. And the past, like before now, I'll say his role is still gonna be kind of that. He's still gonna be like a lob threat, block shots, hit a 3 here and there. I don't think they're gonna demand too much from him. But some people felt that LaMelo Ball should have been drafted number 2 draft pick. They feel like the Warriors played scared. Like, okay, so yeah.
I didn't get that.
Well, I mean, it's like James Wiseman he's a super athletic center who can shoot and stuff like that. But we see in this league, we're trending away from center. So think about
it's a lot of them.
But think about how they took Aiton over Luka Doncic. Think how that pick looks now. Think about how Marvin Bagley being chosen
Yeah.
over Luka and Trey. Think about how that looks now. So it's like, well, if you got this guy who could be like
Yeah.
this transcendent perimeter player, why didn't you? You probably should have went with him, even if it wasn't the best fit, because in the future he's the guy who could be that
Yeah.
guy for your team. Granted, they didn't know that Clay was going to be hurt going into the draft. They found it out like the same time. So, but I feel like, what do you think about that, DeLon?
It was that morning. It was that morning. I see the whole day. I was like, are they going to make a reactionary pick because of that? Because I just thought it was going to be Wiseman, of course. But when Clay went down, I'm like, I think it all kind of falls into that D'Angelo Russell experiment they went through. I feel like if that would have went a little differently, they still probably would have got rid of D'Angelo and then maybe drafted LaMelo or just kept D'Angelo. I don't know. But after that, I didn't see them drafting a guard at all. Especially now they're going to try to figure out Wiggins because he'll be a little undersized for the 3 now.
Yep.
So
Cord.
unless LaMelo was going to pick up some, was going to change positions and pick up a little bit of weight, then
Woke up. Hey, they don't have to call Jello for them.
Yeah.
So
Hey man, Jello a milk.
the Hornets took LaMelo Ball. So LaMelo Ball is now playing for Michael Jordan. How long before LeVar gets on ESPN and says that he could have beat Michael Jordan in a game of 1-on-1? And he says, I could beat Michael Jordan in a game of 1-on-1 right now. And he challenges him.
Man, I would say this. I love LeVar been silent, fam. I don't know if LaMelo pulled him to the side and was like, hey, don't ruin this for me or something. I ain't heard from LeVar in a minute. So I'm guessing that, and also, I feel like the reason why we heard him so much with Lonzo is because Lonzo was in LA. And then when LaMelo went overseas, LeVar at the career, what the family did in the third. So I'm guessing that if you ask me, I think if he would have went to Golden State, then we would have heard LeVar. But now that he's in Charlotte, he won't be around as much. The same way with Lonzo being in New Orleans and we ain't really hearing that much. So honestly, I think it's best for the kids.
But I mean, also LeVar's job is done. Like all this sideshow stuff he was doing,
he did it. Yeah.
All this stuff was just to keep his sons in the limelight and keep
for the draft.
Yeah, to keep them popular. Now they're in the league. There's really no need for him to my sons are the best in the world. Yeah, with the ball tree, it's the greatest thing on the planet.
He won.
He won. There's no reason to keep doing that. Like he got his kids in the league. He could just sit back and chill and just enjoy the fact that he got Lonzo in the league. He got LaMelo in the league, and LiAngelo's still trying. He's on I think he's currently on
still trying.
OKC.
Oklahoma City Blue.
Yeah.
I think another thing is that he wanted him to go. He wanted Lonzo to go to the Lakers, and they had an attainable pick. Well, he said he wanted LaMelo to go to the Knicks. They had the 8th pick. So with the top 3 teams being Minnesota, Charlotte Warriors, it's like, yeah, LeVar, just ain't nothing you can make out of this one. So I'll just because he actively did say he didn't want him to go to the Warriors.
Yeah. Because he wouldn't be a star there with Curry and Clay. And also, naturally he's not going to just want him to go to Charlotte, but he damn sure could be a star there off the bat. Like nobody cares about
absolutely out the rip.
Nobody cares about Terry Rozier. Nobody cares about Devontae Graham. Some people care about Devontae Graham.
Hey, LeBron cares about Devontae Graham.
Yeah, LeBron cares a lot about Devontae Graham. Apparently,
when the narrative suits him.
Yeah, the narrative suits him. He won't ever mention that man's name again. He probably not even to his closest friends. But they should sign the clutch. That's what they should do. They should sign Devontae Graham to clutch. They look out for their own. Okay. But
they gonna be on the Lakers next season.
Yeah. I think that Ball is a good pick for the Hornets because they desperately
great pick.
They need a star. They need somebody who can fill up seats. They need somebody who could potentially take them out of mediocrity because they've been stuck in that 8th seed to 10th seed to 11th seed since Kemba Walker was there, since Al Jefferson was there. They've never been able to be more than that. He's the only guy left after Wiseman was gone and after Anthony Edwards was gone that definitely he had the most potential to be a star and propel them in a winning culture direction. They got a lot of young guys. They got some guys that can grow with them. They can pick and choose and decide who's the best guy to be around him, or they can decide, oh, he ain't the one. But either way, I think this was the best selection for him. So,
there's one problem though.
What's that?
They still need to be big. They still need to be. I wanted them to get Wiseman because they really need to be. But then my mind immediately went, they have never drafted a good big. Like,
just wait a year for Miles Turner.
So maybe they should just pick one up in free agency. True. That's true. Is he not getting traded to Boston or
who?
Miles Turner. Like, ain't Gordon Hayward supposed to be going to Indiana?
Yeah. He's definitely going to Indiana. It's just a matter of when at this point. Like, unless Indiana be like, man, fuck it, the Celtics are asking for too much. You can just go wherever. But yeah, I think he's
got
definitely
the white markets on lock.
But I don't think
he got the markets on lock,
Boston.
Man. Utah, Boston, Indiana.
Yeah.
Utah, Boston, Indiana. Hey, they love throwing him that 20-25 million a year.
I don't think that let me see. The Hornets, it's still some good centers on the market. There's Nerlens Noel, there's Tristan Thompson, there's Ibaka, but he's not gonna go there. But there's still some there's Aaron Bain, there's still some good names out there, and I'm drawing a blank on all of them at the moment. So they can work on it. It's like, and that's kind of why I go back to like the James Wiseman thing. It's a lot easier to find a serviceable big man than to find a guy who can do what Ball is going to do for your team potentially. So, they can worry about the big man later. Like, you put damn power forward there and you call it a day. Oh, but Harry Giles has also got cut from the Kings. So,
sign John Collins. Harry Giles, get both of them.
You of Clippers, man, of all people, have the nerve to say, worry about a big man later. You can just put a power forward there, call it a day. Of all people.
I'm gonna say this. There's a lot of replacement.
You know what? He got a point there, Wop.
There's a lot of replacement. There's a lot of replacement level bigs in the league. You just don't need to overextend them. Like Trez is not really a power forward anyway. He's a small forward. He's a shooting guard masquerading as a center. That's different. Shooting guard.
Paint beast.
No.
Is Trez Jesse build? Remember Jesse first build?
I don't remember.
I ain't gonna lie, Jordan. I was trying to give you a layup for I tried to give you an oop for a segue there, but
Oh no. We gonna talk about Trez. We gonna talk about all the free agent signings, but I want to finish up with the draft first. Is there any particular team that jumped off the page for y'all? Is there any team y'all feel like had a outstanding draft night, or is there any team that you feel like had a big question mark? What the hell are they doing draft night?
I'm going to say the Chicago Bulls because I had not heard of Patrick Williams at all. But I'm going to say this. If he jumped up that high, it must be a reason. Jacquez didn't tell us about him a lot. But I'm going to say
No, Jacquez didn't say anything all draft night. What surprised me, I know he said, who the fuck is Patrick Williams?
That's the only thing Jacquez said. That's the only thing he said the entire draft night. That, and he said that the Knicks.
No, wait. He was hating on Denny. He was hating on Denny, though. He was like, man, don't nobody want that unproven, man. I ain't never seen him. I said, bro, he was the MVP in Israel. And he was like, man, I ain't watching their games over there.
In Israel. What?
Bro, he's a 19-year-old MVP in Israel. Come on now.
What's Israel league rank in like the in terms of like NBA?
All them soldiers.
You got the Spain's league.
No clue.
Well, where Israel rank on there? Like top 10? They already even top 10 league in the world.
Hey man, start them out was over there losing, so they must be.
Now, that don't mean anything, Cord. That don't mean anything. Start them out with one.
Hey man, if an NBA player ain't got 3 rings in your league, it must be something wrong.
No, something's wrong with Stoudemire. Knees.
Hey, J.R. Smith went to China and became God.
Man, Lane Stevenson was MVP talk.
Hey man, J.R. Smith went to China and became a god over there.
They had functioning legs. They had functioning legs, Corey. Amari Stoudemire doesn't. But anyway,
hey man, started out with the Jerusalem and we're losing.
I think that the Sixers had a very good draft night. They managed to get rid of Al Horford's contract.
Yeah.
So they didn't really, it wasn't so much who they drafted. Even though they did get Tyrese Maxey, I think that's how you say his name. They did get that point guard from Kentucky. They got that point guard from Kentucky. I did like that. Hey man, that was a nice steal at the I think around 21, 22, 23.
That's for shooters.
They got some shooters. They got Steph Curry on the. They got Seth Curry on the team now.
Steph.
They traded Horford contract away by giving away some draft picks and netted themselves Danny Green, who's still a serviceable shooter. He's not somebody you can rely on, but you know, if you got Seth, you know, you just need some competent, somewhat decent shooters on the roster as the Sixers. You had none, and then they also picked up
just being the playmaker.
Yes, and they also picked up Ferguson, also from the Thunder, who's a good young defender. So I like what the Sixers did from the guy they picked with their pick.
Love it.
And what they were able to get rid of Horford contract and then bring in Seth and bring in Danny. And they recently, I think we're gonna talk about free agency. They actually signed someone. I thought, they signed Dwight Howard. Yeah, so they're having a pretty good offseason so far.
Yeah.
To my recollection,
a
team that just had like a very bizarre draft night was probably the Pistons. But I'm not entirely sure what their plan is, as you can see by their free agency moves with the whole they drafted a center.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this.
I'm about to say they drafted a center.
Then I really like the center they got.
Yeah, but it's like I get that, but like they drafted him, then they traded for Deadman, then they signed at Mason Plumlee, then they also signed, I think, another center. I'm drawing a blank on it right
Blake
now.
Griffin on his way out, man. Blake
Plumlee.
Somebody on their way out.
Okafor. Yeah, they got Plumlee. As soon as they signed Plumlee and Okafor, I said, yeah, they can Blake about
the Nuggets lineup, boy.
No, they're trying to recreate the Milwaukee Bucks lineup of 7-footers with Blake substituted as Giannis. I see the vision though. I don't see it. I see the vision. I see it. Y'all ain't gotta see it. I see it.
Hey man, Bucks won the championship and they have Blake instead of Giannis.
Hashtag free Blake.
Yeah, Blake would have shoot threes now because Blake would have been hurt.
They could win Blake and Giannis.
Tough.
Blake would have been hurt. Tough. That's the reality of it. So, guys, I guess we can go ahead and talk about Gucci and Jeezy because that's what I really want to talk about with you guys. They had their versus battle Thursday night, and nobody really knew what to expect out of this out of these two colliding. Going into this battle, who did you guys have picked to win? I said Gucci last week. Then I actually went back and revisited their music and thought to myself, I'm gonna side with Jeezy. I made that last minute pick before it started. Who did you guys thought was gonna come out on top before this started? I know I ain't gonna give Court a chance to lie. He thought it was gonna be Gucci. What about you, DeLon?
Wait.
Go ahead, Court.
I'm gonna say this: when y'all was asked, I don't think I ever said who was gonna win, but my biggest problem. My biggest concern was that Gucci had so many songs, and the whole time I was sitting back thinking, I don't think Gucci knows what 20 songs to pick. And no matter what 20 songs he picked, everybody go say you missed 20 other songs you could have picked. So like every time he played a song, I'd be like, you probably should play this. You playing 747, you should play Mouthful of Gold. You should have played the intro to Trap God 3. So the suit was like when they kept saying they was going against each other. Actually, Cooley, because Cooley ended up tweeting and he was like, fam, Jeezy could play the biggest songs off his albums, and it's light work. Gucci is gonna take him forever to pick what, and even in the show, he was like, man, what y'all want to hear? But my biggest fear, which is why as soon as he did this, I said it's a wrap. As long as he don't play nothing new, he ain't got nothing to worry about. And as soon as he said, man, y'all playing all this from 2005, we finna play something new, because I knew he was gonna pick the worst songs to pick from the future. Like if he would have played like Met Gala, I would have been cool. If he would have played some off the new album, I would have been cool. But when he cut on it, Bruno Mars, when he cut that Bruno on, I said, yeah, he gave it to Jeezy. He came back though.
And a guy like Gucci who just puts out like 100 projects a year, their biggest issue is nothing they make sounds bad. That's why they put out so much music. I don't feel like they feel bad about anything they put out. It's like they make something like, oh, this is golden. And I think that's what kills him is he don't know exactly what his best songs are. To the point that he left Freaky Girl off of his set list. I don't know how he let that happen. That's the actual hit. Like that's something that actually charted, and he didn't even put that on in the set list.
It was so many songs he could have played. And that's why when y'all was saying Jeezy was gonna win, I never disagreed, because in my mind I was thinking no matter what 20 songs Gucci pick, he go leave 10 great songs off. Like now, if Versus was a 50 song battle, it's Gucci. If it's a 60 song battle, it's Gucci. But if it's a 10, 20, 30 song,
what does that mean? What are we even saying?
Because he has.
No, his problem is.
I'm saying he has so much music. Huh?
I'm saying he was too busy playing B-sides. Like he could have put 10 great songs on there. There was songs he didn't need to put on there.
He has so much slightly above average music that yes, his slightly above average music would have eventually put in a 100 song set list, weighed out Jeezy's good music to his bad music. Yes, Cord. Those slightly above average
what I'm saying is
outlast him.
The majority of the Jeezy songs are gonna overlap. Every Gucci fan list is gonna be completely different. I noticed we did this in college. Like we all put 20, 25 songs together.
Because they're all the same song.
Also, he got 100. Also, because he got 100 tapes.
No.
He has 100 tapes.
He got over 100 projects.
He has 3 archetypes of songs.
But the fact of the matter is, even if he has so much music, if he got 20 great songs,
don't do that. Don't do that.
No, I'm saying like if he got 20, if he got off all his music is so good, then he should not have a problem finding 20 great songs within his catalog. Yeah. But that's a problem. He was playing some kind of music. I was like, bro, why is he playing this? Like,
the question was, what made him pick the Bruno Mars joint?
My point exactly. He don't know what's good in his catalog. He don't know what's good.
What made him pick Bruno?
He was like, yeah, this is a hit. And I think I said this. That's another thing too. You always know someone's losing a versus battle the minute they say, why are you playing all that old stuff? And they forget the whole point of these versus battles is to play your old stuff. It's like, why are you playing all that old stuff? If
somebody watching this,
if somebody can play one project and can give you a run for your money, you in trouble. That's all I'm gonna say. Especially that one project got like at least 10 to 12 songs they can play off of it. Then all they gotta do is get 8 more songs from other places. You're done.
Gucci could have played half of Trap God 3. He could have played half Trap God 3, fam.
That's his fault.
He could have played at least 3 songs out the State versus Reggie. Like it's like he had projects he could have put up. But if you ask me personally, I don't think coming to win was his agenda. I think his whole agenda was, I'm finna come here to start some chaos.
And I'm glad
that's what it felt like, which is what I didn't want to happen.
And we're glad.
But I think we all knew it was gonna happen.
And I'm glad we're finally at this point because he started off with like 2 diss songs to Jeezy. He played Truth, and then they had a Black Lives Matter rally after Truth, and then he played another diss song. But at the end, they played So Icy, and then they made up. Delon, you are,
which is what I said they was gonna do.
You are an appreciator of the arts. Did all that seem staged to you? Like, did this all seem manufactured? Like the whole them being mad at each other during the set and then them making up in the end? Because that turnaround was just so quick.
They had a club appearance. They had a scheduled club appearance with flyers already made. It had to. They already had to have been staged. They said, "All right, y'all, we'll be where was it? Where was it?
Oh, the compound.
Yeah, everybody was at the compound. And drinks how much, blah blah. This much for the table. We'll see y'all there. All right." Like they didn't just like, "Hey, you going to the compound after this?" "Yeah, I'm going to the compound after this. Let's link." Nah.
It's like, no, we can. Hey, I don't know what kind of bag they brought together for that, but they brought a bag together for that.
But
they brought a bag together for that.
And I hate that Swizz is getting a cut. I hate this.
Hey man, like I told Mira, I'd rather be him than Diddy.
I'm gonna tell you what, man.
At least it's him and I Diddy.
I'm gonna tell you what, man. Gucci's man, not Gucci's man, but Jeezy man is doing somersaults in his grave. You mean to tell me that Jeezy agreed to have Gucci say wild shit about that man being dead to his face with no repercussions, so they can make a bag together, and then they pretend to forgive each other in front of everybody? Why not just act like they were? If they act like they were friends before, it wouldn't have drawn as much attention. Like people came here to see if the niggas gonna fight each other. But it's just, to me, it was so wild because I watched it and I said, "There's no way Gucci felt in his heart of hearts that he still hated Jeezy And then 5 songs later, he's like, all right, I'm so icy. Like that didn't make sense in my head. So I said, this had to be staged. This had to be fake. All of it was manufactured. They didn't dislike each other before they walked in this room. They were just pretending. But that's wild to me that Gucci pretended to mock Jeezy's dead friend being dead, and Jeezy was like, "Oh, this is all part of that. This is cool."
Now I'm gonna say that. Okay. Now I'm gonna say this. I still think they don't like each other, but it's one of them things where like I don't rock with you, you rock with me. We can still do stuff together, but like okay, like when Brandy and Monica had their thing, you know, they linked up arm in arm, did they song together, did that in the third. I knew they was gonna do so icy together, but I knew they weren't gonna be like arm in arm. I bro, you know, like crazy when they perform so icy, they got even further away from each other. They was like, I'm going to the edge. So it was like, so I think it's just like one of them things to where Jeezy hit him up and said, look, we got an opportunity to make some money. I got problems. You got problems. Let's put that aside one night. We've been staying in the same city for 15 years. You know, like what happened in the past is done, it's over and over. My only problem was Gucci did not have to say he was smoking on that Poochie Low back though.
No, okay, I get you saying that. The plan was for them to.
That was wild.
The plan was them to come together. You know, Jeezy knew he was gonna play that song, play Truth, and they knew at the end they were gonna play So Icy just as a way to commemorate it. What Jeezy did not know was how far Gucci was gonna take it when he played. Yeah. That makes a lot more sense. And so even though Gucci went that far at the end, they still had to make up on So Icy. So that makes sense. That makes a lot more sense, Cord. So it's obvious, podcast, if you've been listening, because my next question was who was each of our favorite artists growing up. It's obvious that Cord's favorite was Gucci.
And WAP is no longer JYP J Snow now because his true colors has been shown. He pushing an agenda right now.
Growing up, I was a fan of both. You know,
J Snow.
The funny thing is, y'all saying J Snow, and the shit's making me more so think of Tina Snow than it is making me think of Jeezy. That's the funny thing about it. But
J Snow.
But
is that the title? Is that the title?
It might be. But my favorite, between the two, I listened to both of them around the same time. I listened to Jeezy and I started listening to Gucci around the same time. Ultimately, though, Jeezy became more so my favorite artist between the two when the Recession came out, and I was just listening to that album like from front to back all the time. Yeah. That was like the turning point. I was like, you know what, Jeezy. Not like it was a competition between two. Even though they had beef at that point, I didn't really care. Jeezy was already. I just favored his music. That's the direction my musical taste was going at that point. DeLon, what about you? Were you more so a fan of Jeezy, Gucci, or you just didn't care about either one of them growing up?
Meh on Gucci. I like Jeezy. Jeezy, I never really super got into his albums, but he always has 3 or 4 or 5 songs every album that I absolutely love. But third man off the bench was always my guy, T.I. T.I. was always my guy out of the 3 of them. Trap music's in my top 10 favorite albums of all time. If I had to pick the Atlanta-based artist out of the 3, it would be T.I.
I think all of us agreed that Jeezy won that, by the way. I think we all talked about it after it happened. We saw that Jeezy won and beat Gucci. Would T.I. beat Jeezy?
I think T.I. could have beat Jeezy and they would have had their nice little thing. I think it would have been funnier if that would have happened before the Jeezy versus Gucci. So because it would have been them on stage drinking, talking about how much they hate Gucci, talking about that other guy in Atlanta, and they would all came together at the end and sang Top Back remix, and it would have all been great.
Because most, from my understanding, most time when you do a versus, you're not gonna go back and do another versus against somebody else. I wish we had gotten Jeezy versus T.I. now. If I had known that it was gonna just be Gucci trying to antagonize Jeezy all night and not them actually competing against each other. I wish we had gotten T.I. versus Jeezy. That'd be it. Because Gucci versus, don't get me wrong, even though Gucci sold himself, that was still a very entertaining versus just from the standpoint of their music. But I feel like Ti, if he came in really, really, really wanting to win, I feel like him and Jeezy would have been going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth all night. It'd have been great.
It definitely would have.
I would have sided with Ti.
Ti's claim to everything, he definitely would have. I'm just wondering, and I don't know if it seems farther off. I'm wondering about Ti and Gucci's relationship because although I don't love Gucci, I do like Gucci, and I'm always for the sentimental hip hop moments. And if we got a project from the three of them, an EP or even a song from the three of them, how unrealistic this sounds, that would still be amazing.
What are they going to talk about?
As long as it doesn't sound like 2001, 2005.
I would love to see it.
Christ, do not put out a song with a 2005 beat.
What are they going to sound? What are they going to rap about?
What is that, Jordan?
What are they going to rap about on there? Don't none of
real estate.
Don't none of them rap about trapping no more.
Why are we downplaying black men for being successful and leaving their criminal past behind? We should be encouraging them. Give us them real estate records.
Didn't Jeezy say he owned? Didn't Jeezy say he owned half of Atlanta?
I think that's T.
Yep.
It was one of them.
Yeah. But T.I. also said that.
So he owned the other half.
Tyler Perry said that.
So he owned the other. So he owned the other half.
And then 2 Chainz owns all the land. And
hey man, Atlanta huge.
No, it is big, but it's only 2 halves. But that's all.
Yeah, there's percentages.
There's that much property going around.
The numbers. Hey, the math ain't mathing core. That's all I'm saying. But we're gonna go ahead and talk. We're gonna go ahead and
math ain't mathing.
We're gonna go ahead and move on to free agency. It's currently underway. We're in day 2 of the free agency. There's already been some pretty big signings that have already happened. I guess we should go ahead and talk about the most surprising one. The most surprising one. Montrezl Harrell has signed with the Los Angeles Lakers. He signed for the full mid-level exception, taking a $9 million a year contract, 2 years. So I think with the second year is a player option. So he's taking it's an $18 million year contract. I mean, it's $18 million contract, 2 years. It seemed, according to reports, it was a shock. Clippers players were blindsided by this. They had no idea. That wasn't that they thought the Trailers were going to leave. They had no clue that he was going to go sign with the Lakers. Patrick Beverly got on Twitter and said, "What the hell, man?" They also said that Trez turned down more money with Charlotte in order to sign with the Lakers. It hasn't been like it's been multiple reports that there's been some tension in the Clippers locker room with a lot of those rumors always seeming to center around Trez. Cord, how do you feel about the enemy? The boys next door signing Montrezl Harrell.
And I told y'all he was the one leaking that information. I told y'all he was the reason why he lost. I told y'all he had dirt on Doc Rivers. That's why he would get out of minutes. And none of this surprises me. When they said the certain player on the team felt like he was better than Paul George, I said it couldn't be Marcus Morris because he go tell you straight up. It couldn't have been Pat. He was gonna tell you straight up. And Lou the chillest dude on earth. So it couldn't have been him. It could only be Trez. And also, we all know when you sign a clutch, either you going to get a super bag or you taking a little bag to play with Brun to potentially get a super bag later. So I am not shocked at all. All I got to say is this. Y'all got y'all 2-6 men. I hope it worked for y'all. But I'm going to say this. Is he playing center or is AD playing center? And how long is that going to work? But I hope it worked.
So
it was terrible with us on defense.
Yeah, so I don't miss Montrezl Harrell at all. I wanted him gone. Like I didn't even want us to resign him. I didn't care.
Wish we could have traded him though.
I wish we could have traded him. I wish we could have done a sign and trade. I wish we could have traded him at the deadline last year. I had told you and Keyshawn at the trade deadline. I said Lou or Trez, one of them got to go because both of them ain't gonna be here after the season. One of them gonna leave, or we're gonna trade one. We're gonna end up trading Lou. Like I knew that they both were not gonna be on the team past this season, so there was no reason to keep them on the team into the playoffs. Trez was abysmal. He did nothing in the playoffs. Nothing. Through 2 rounds, he did nothing on the offensive end or in the defensive end. He did have he had one big scoring game in the Mavs series, but we were blowing out the Mavs already. And then he had one big scoring game against the Nuggets, and that was game 7, and we were already losing that game when we were scoring. It was
over at that point, yeah.
He doesn't rebound. He doesn't defend on ball. He can't protect the rim. He can't protect space. He doesn't
Too
box
little.
out. And I think it's so funny because Laker fans are going to say LeBron going to get him right. Now, I get it. LeBron do make teams better.
Yeah.
He do set shooters up. How does LeBron?
Hey.
How's LeBron James gonna make Montrezl Harrell box out, rebound, and defend the rim when he's still a 6'6" center?
No.
Understand that.
My coworker told me that LeBron gonna make him a spot up shooter from the mid-range slot. That's what I was told.
I hope so.
And I told him, y'all know I don't never bet no money. I'm bet money. I said, hey, if LeBron make Trez a good defender and a good rebound and can help him spot up shoot, LeBron the greatest player in NBA history ever. I would give him that title. If he can make Trez look legit, he'd go.
I'm not gonna give it to LeBron because
But I don't see it happening. I could be wrong.
There is nothing another person can do to make another person
That's what I
better on
need it.
defense. No, that's what I'm saying. Like that's like this ain't even being mad at Trez now. This is being mad at LeBron fan telling me, yeah, he can't defend, he can't rebound, but LeBron gonna take it to the next level. How is LeBron gonna take Montrezl Harrell to the next level on defense and help make him rebound? That don't make sense.
Hey man.
If Trez does do that next season, which I feel like he's gonna try harder, try to prove a point.
They told me he's finna be Dennis Rodman.
They laughed because he called himself Dennis Rodman before he signed there. That's the thing about it. They held the little graphic that he said.
And now they saying he's finna be Dennis Rodman.
Exactly. He said we got our own Dennis Rodman. A Dennis Rodman that don't hustle or play defense. That just don't make sense to me. Even Clipper fans didn't like when he said that. Didn't nobody defend that bullshit. And it was like, they were like, y'all acting like Montrezl Harrell was God when he was on. No, the Clippers fans have been wanting that nigga gone since February.
For a minute.
When he was not in the bubble, me and Cole were on this podcast saying we hope he come back.
He come back, yeah. Like that was my whole thing. Because when Zoo played the Mavericks, what was it, 2011, like in the regular season game against the Mavericks, I was like, fam, if he get these minutes through the playoffs, he go kill them. And for some reason, Doc was like, nah, I want 6'7" center on Boban. And Boban just standing there. He doing standing hooks. His feet ain't even leaving the ground. He was throwing them. But hey, man, it ain't our problem no more. So I ain't, because I ain't finna gonna be mad. If the Lakers can figure it out, God bless them. They told us all year to having 2 6 men don't work. Y'all got 2 6 men. I hope it worked for y'all. Y'all say LeBron a better leader than Kawhi. He'll find some type of way to make this work. But I will say this for the Lakers. This is reparations from last season, slightly, I guess. I would give y'all that. That's why I ain't mad, because we did y'all dirty last all season. So I'm going to let y'all have this. But I will say this. Y'all ain't got to worry about the rest of the team picking up on the scoring, because Trez can't do that. He can't get you some. Him and Schroeder go do that. They go get y'all some numbers. Now the defense, that's another question. But we all know every time a team win a championship, all the defensive players go get a bag, and then they get the shooters and the scorers to come in and pick them on the offense. So y'all have fun with it.
DeLon, I have a
AD holding that paint down by himself. I don't want to see y'all sending no death threats.
Trez ain't gonna take that shit well at all. DeLon, can a coach be represented by Clutch? I'm trying to figure this shit out, but
I don't see why not.
Yeah, okay.
Doc Rivers Clutch.
Yeah, Doc Rivers Clutch. That's what it is. He was trying to help him get that bag. It's so funny. Doc Rivers gave Trez all those minutes to help him get the bag, and then he didn't even take it. That's the crazy thing about it. He did all that shit just to spite the Clippers, man. I don't like that nigga.
Yeah.
But all right. Me and Corey talked enough.
But I'm guessing he assuming. Okay, I'm gonna say this. I'm guessing that in his mind, if he play with the Lakers and he play good, he'll get a bigger bag. That's what I'm guessing. Or he just really love playing with LeBron.
Yeah, we're gonna find out.
Shout out to Trez, man. Shout out to Trez.
So DeLon, me and hold on. What sentence that candle, DeLon?
Unfortunately, it's not like barbecue charcoal. We have Alpine Forest.
I fucks with it. I rock with it.
So, I don't know what this one is, but it definitely smells like.
Don't.
So DeLon, we've already
hate in his heart.
Me and Corey went on a spiel about free agents. Is there a free agent signing so far that you are pretty thrilled about, that you are excited about, or is there a free agent that you're keeping your eye on that you're waiting to see where he falls?
So, are we also going to talk about trades? Because I have a trade that I love. Do we
Yes,
have a separate
trades.
section for that?
No, we're talking about
Okay.
trades right here.
Steven Adams to the Pelicans.
I like it.
Steven Adams to the Pelicans. I love it. Jordan, you're scratching your head. You're scratching your head.
Strong.
If anything is happening in New Orleans, they are looking for an identity. And I think Steven Adams definitely gives them an identity. Steven Adams and Zion. Steven Adams, like the only one strong enough to move Zion or be moved by Zion. So I think it's have a powerhouse there. Boards will be a plenty for Alonzo misses if he's still there. Brandon Ingram has a lot less to worry about. You don't have to use his length to try to. Hey man, I think it is a good move. This stuff JJ
Gundy.
So So he
JJ Redick off of Steven Adams' screen.
So Steven Adams is making $27 million. They trade in order to get him,
money.
In order to get him, they traded George Hill. I think it's another thing that bothers me was what they gave up. They gave up George Hill, Darius Miller, and I think like a first round draft pick, maybe a second round draft pick, or maybe 2 first round draft picks. I can't remember. I know there's at least one first round draft pick. And I thought to myself, that's a lot for a player on an expiring contract that you don't really care about. And also, I don't think it's a great fit because, Zion wants to live in the paint. Like, that's where he's going to want to be. Like, he's going to want to be in the paint. And now you got a guy who can only stand in the paint to be your starting center. Granted, I think this is more of a flexibility move in the long run. It's more so to be a stopgap center to help them with their defense. And then they're going to so he's going to defend the paint. He's going to rebound, do those things that nobody else on the team was willing to do. He's going to do the dirty stuff, things that a lot of Pelicans or younger guys wouldn't do.
Also, I think Steven Adams is a relatively underrated playmaker.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
So I'll give him that as well.
And Jordan, look at it this way. He is insurance for Zion. Now Zion don't have to bang in the paint with the bigs as much. He don't have to fight them for every board.
Especially if we want him to lose weight.
Exactly. So Steven Adams makes it to where Zion doesn't have to, he ain't got to go to war with every power forward center every single game. He got one of the strongest players next to him. And with Stan Van Gundy as the coach, y'all know he love building the wall and playing some defense and getting some boards.
I can just see that Steven Adams rebound to either a full court Zion pass or Lonzo with the full court pass. I like what it builds from the transition. Even though Steven Adams isn't the fastest person in the world, I love what it calls with the transition. That seems great.
I will agree that he is a pretty good transition passer after rebound. As he probably learned that from Russ and when he was with the Thunder. So I think more so when I think of him, I think of half court offense, and I think of like Eric Bledsoe, who's still there, who can't really shoot, who's not a consistent shooter. You got Zoe, who's still there, who isn't a consistent.
They figured it out.
You got Brandon Ingram, who's becoming a much improved shooter, and I'm not sure who their power forward is going to be. But yeah, that's what has me
that's why MISO's on the way.
Yeah, that's what has me unsure of his fit. And like they're supposed to be pushing
for Jackson Hayes though.
Yeah, and they're supposed to be pushing for a playoff spot this year. And I guess this isn't what I don't think they're going to actually be doing that this year. To be honest with you, I think this is the year they're going to try to acquire assets, and then next year is the year they're going to like seriously try to make a push for the playoffs. I think this year is just whatsoever. Free agents
also involved in that trade. Mm-hmm. Also involved in that trade. Of course, the Thunder acquiring even more picks and RJ Hampton.
Yeah. I don't know. He's still in Denver. Woj had to do like a 4-tweet correction.
Yeah, Woj messed up, and like RJ Hampton himself thought he was gone, and he was like, "Whoo!" That was close.
Yeah,
that man said I was sick. That was saw him all and said, "Oh Lord, I'm going to Oklahoma."
Other notable signings: Davis Bertans agreed to a 5-year, $80 million deal with the Wizards. Goran Dragic returns to the Heat on a 2-year, $37 million contract. Joe Harris returns to the Nets on a 4-year, $70 million contract. Malik Beasley agrees to a 4-year, $60 million deal with the Timberwolves. That's the line. Anything on that? Anything on Beasley returning?
I am happy, depending on this court case.
Because new shit. New shit keep popping up in that case. I don't really know.
Yeah,
I
but
forgot
like,
about that.
yeah, but like, I mean, his growth, not even growth. I don't even want to call it growth. His production improvement as soon as he got to Timberwolves, it was too amazing to not resign.
Now
He producing on the streets too.
I'm gonna talk to y'all. So I'm gonna mention it. Cool, you funny as hell, boy. Some free agent signings that I really like. One being, I like what the Atlanta Hawks are doing. The Atlanta Hawks made some good.
Yeah.
They made some great moves. They've now added Chris Dunn as their backup point guard. They've signed Gallinari to a pretty nice deal. They're potentially about to add Bogdan, who was going to go to the Bucks, but then
Yeah.
we gonna talk. Matter of fact, fuck we talking about this. We need to talk about the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm mad that John couldn't make it. I forgot. I'm glad. That's why John didn't get on because we were talk about the Bucks. The Milwaukee Bucks announced on Monday that they has done a sign and trade for Bogdanovich from the Kings. But the only problem is that you weren't supposed to be talking to free agents about signing until Friday. So they had to scale it back and say, like, oh, we weren't actually talking to Bogdanovich. No, we weren't actually talking to him. We don't know. This deal never existed. And now the leagues is investigating them and potentially could steal or could potentially take draft picks away from them that could be used for other things for them. So now, where there was originally, and also players have opted out, like Robin Lopez opted out and went and signed with the Washington Wizards. He said he opted out because he didn't want to be included in a deal that sent him somewhere he didn't want to be. So they lost that element of surprise. They had to waive Ilyasova. The Bucks have just they botched this all the way around. They botched including an incredible young player to their roster that could have helped push them over the edge. And now they've lost a competent, good backup center in Robin Lopez, and they've lost a contract in Ilyasova that they could have used. Guys, is this going to be the nail in the coffin for the Bucks? Is this going to be the moment that prevents Giannis from signing his extension and also what ultimately decides on him leaving next summer?
If I'm Giannis, I'm going to Atlanta. Throwing it out there. I go to Atlanta. Giannis and Trae Young. Can't hold them both.
I still think Giannis going to OKC, but you know.
Yeah, DeLon thinks that Giannis going to go to OKC. He thinks OKC is going to use their 30 picks the net Giannis. I'm still skeptical of the grand picture, and also I'm skeptical of the fact that they trade all them 30 picks that Giannis will even stay in Oklahoma because it is Oklahoma at the end of the day. But I think
Oklahoma.
I think it's a nail in the coffin. This shows gross incompetency on the team's part, and if they lose picks, if this NBA investigation goes and finds that they did tamper, and they lose picks, they're gonna lose more assets, and I don't think Drew Holiday by himself, the replacement of him with Bledsoe, while I think he's a very good addition, I don't think that's going to be what takes him over the top. I don't think he addresses the problem that they don't have someone at the end of games to take that last shot. They had to rely on Chris Middleton because Giannis can't take that last shot. I don't feel like Drew fixes that and by himself. And so I don't think that this is going to take them over the edge unless Giannis gets shot. So unless Giannis gets a shot this offseason, which is only December 1st is how many days away? That's like 9 days away before training camp starts.
Not that many.
Yeah. I think he's gone. I think this is going to be the moment like they do the whole 30 for 30 at the end of his career. They're going to talk about this moment right here that end up making him leave.
I just also think it's hilarious how like the Kings were the other team. Like there's only so many teams that would have hit like that fuck up. It's either the teams at the very top we expect to get everything, like the Lakers, or the teams at the very bottom, like the Kings, and it's just hilariously predictable. I
only wonder whose side. Now you mentioned that, I wonder which side messed up and told Woj or Shams too early. Like, yeah, this is what we doing. I wonder was it the Kings or I wonder was it like the Bucks? Like, who told them like, yeah, this is what we doing?
Somebody finna lose their job.
Somebody lost their job.
I'd probably say it was the Kings. I think the Bucks had more to lose.
Yeah, it had to be the Kings.
Yeah, because they are an incompetent organization. They don't know any better.
But shout out to De'Aaron.
But I also saw that a gap Wait, did y'all see the Milwaukee fan? He said that he knew DiVincenzo's brother, and then he was finna get traded, but he didn't know the guy's name. So he was just like, he getting traded for like Bobo, like he called him something crazy. And so all the fans was like, it can't be Boban, so it gotta be Bogdan or Bojan. It gotta be one of them three.
Yeah.
And the only one that made sense was the King. So you know what you got. It's tough.
Don't ever say
Stop telling your family members.
again. Bogdan, Bajo.
Bojangles.
Never in the same sentence again.
But I think it's kind of funny because ironic because it's somebody
Boba Tea.
he related to somebody named DiCenzo. So like it's not like he had a very normal last name. So it's like he butchering a name like
Facts.
that. But anyway, I think I like what the Atlanta Hawks did. Now they have a very, very, very competent starting five. They have Trey at point guard. They have Dunn the backup. They got Gallinari at the 3. Huerta is still there at the 2. You'll have John Collins potentially at the 4, and then you have Clint Capella at the 5. That's a very, very, very good starting lineup. Oh, Bogdan, my bad.
Gallinari 6 man.
Bogdan at the 2. And then you got Huerta off the bench. You got Dunn off the bench. They got
Gallinari.
They got their rookie. They got off the bench. Yeah, I said Gallinari. Like they have a very formidable team. I predict they'll be the 8th seed. I predict they'll be.
I think higher.
I'm gonna be honest with you. They could be the 7th seed. I could see the Pacers backsliding and falling to the around that range. But I don't think any, like if you go look at the Eastern Conference, I can't see any of those Eastern Conference teams being 8th. Other than like I couldn't see any of teams that was like 1 through 7 last year. I can't see any of them being 8th this year. Other than other than the Magic. The Magic are the only team in the playoffs I feel like falling out the playoffs, and I feel like that the Hawks could overtake. So I think they're gonna be a playoff team. You know, they might surprise me, be a higher seed. Gotta wait to see how everything else shakes out. Another surprising deal that me and Corey talked about earlier was we're surprised that Christian Wood signed he didn't sign for the mid-level exception. Corey, he went back and got a new deal. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there we go. That's what I like to hear. Get that bag.
He agreed to a 3-year, $41 million deal. Originally, he signed for the MLE, which surprised a lot of people because it was like if all he's worth is the MLE, why don't he sign to a better team? I think his agent or some people realized they're like, wait a minute. I think other teams called and it's like, wait, if all you want is that, come play for us. To which then the Rockets like, oh wait,
exactly.
Wait. Rockets like, wait, we'll give you more.
We got some more money.
We got some more money. So he get a 3-year, $41 million deal. So that's like 3 years, $41 million. What's that? That's like that's like $18 million a year. Is that what it is? No, that can't be it.
Yeah, by 17, 18 should be.
It's 17. It's 17. No, that's still too much. 16.
It's up there.
It's
by 17.
I'm trying to do math. No, it's not 16. It's 15. Nope, 14. I'm trying to do a whole lot of math in my head right now. Yeah, it's 14. $14 million a year contract.
Okay.
There we go. I had to do quick math.
Now they got a young player for the future. Got a player for the future.
I don't know what the future looks like. Oh, speaking of future.
Yeah, if you're getting Harden West.
John Wall has demanded a trade from the Washington Wizards. He wants out. He wants to go. Guys,
I'm shocked. I'm shocked. I am so shocked, man. Wasn't the whole point of Bill staying with for John?
Yes.
That's what I thought, right?
Yes.
That man John said, "Oh, the team ain't being built around me. I want out."
He has said, Bill has said multiple times, I want to make things work with John. Like, this is like a troubled marriage. He said, I want to see this to the end.
I'm going to make it work.
We're going to make it work. I'm going to try one time. And John is finally healthy. Was going to play a month from now. And he's like, nah, send me out. I'm ready to go now. I want to go right now.
Get me out of here.
I don't think there's any other moves.
Cole.
Let's see. Like I said, the Lakers made some great moves. They got Dennis Smith. They got Dennis Schroeder for basically nothing. They gave away a player that did nothing for them last year, and Danny Green. Then they end up adding Trez. and then they ended up adding Wesley Matthews for dimes and nickels to replace Green. They did a great. They've had a great free. They had a great free agency. They've had a great free agency. All right, guys. Any other free agent thoughts, opinions? You know,
Hey man, free Blake Griffin. That's all I got to say. Free Blake.
prayers up.
Oh, and shout out to Jeremy Grant, man. He got the bag going to Detroit.
Oh.
I think he has the potential. Yeah, I ain't saying he gonna be no all-star, but I think he finna jump up. I think he finna look different out here.
Stanley Johnson.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I don't understand Jeremiah Grant.
I like Jeremy Grant.
Jeremy Grant. Is it Jeremy Grant or Jeremiah Grant? I don't understand his motive because he got 20 mil. He could have made around 18 mil from the Nuggets, but he said that he wanted a bigger role. He wanted the ball more
offensively.
He wanted to, do more things offensively. Is being a slightly better offensive player on the Pistons really that much grander than making around the same money, being a fourth option on a contending team?
Now look at it from this perspective. If he stay with Denver, Michael Porter Jr. gets more minutes. Bo gets more minutes. He gonna have to play less, and he's only gonna be the defensive guy. So when those 3 years are up, he only gonna get defensive player money. Whereas in Detroit, if he becomes a 20-point scorer, / one of the best wing defenders in the league, / he could play the 3, 4, and 5 potentially, and that 3 years go up, he getting a bag.
So I think it's more.
Y'all pretty getting 20 million.
So it sounds like to me, Jeremy Grant, whichever one it is, it sounds like he's more so in for it for the money than is what you're telling me, Cord. Like he's trying to chase the bag. Like he's like I'm
gonna say this, not the money, not just the money, but to improve as a player. I love that for a player. I think every player should want that.
Because there's other teams that could have offered him money. Like the Suns, I believe, could have offered him money. He could, like, instead of Gallinari going to the Hawks, he could have went there, but he went to the Pistons, who just drafted a center, signed 3 centers, and they don't even have a
Devin Booker.
Who's their shooting guard?
Think about it, Devin Booker.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like you have to play with Devin Booker, Chris Paul, ball dominant, Trae Young, Kevin Huerter, Gallinari, Bogdan, John Collins. Detroit is you, especially if they trade Blake and Derrick Rose. Is you and everybody else. You can't pass that up.
He's trying to set himself up for the next bag. He's trying to set himself up for the next bag.
But also, it's the potential to improve as a player. I think as fans, we forget that a lot. We just think, well, he'll be a perfect fit here if he just do boom, boom, boom. And Detroit is saying, you can come here and you can do whatever you want. Well, not whatever you want, but we would give you the opportunity. Okay, because look at it this way. He was in Oklahoma. He was just the play defense, get the ball to rest guy. And he got traded because of that. Then he went to Denver and it was, hey, we want you to shoot. Then we realized he can really shoot. So now he looking at it like, okay, let's see what else I can do if I go to a team that gives me even more opportunities. Because a lot of players don't get that. I think that's why Jahlil Okafor went to Detroit. Because every team he went to is just defend the rim, pick and roll. And we know he's a great post scorer. Maybe in Detroit, he gets the opportunity to show it off.
And another thing is that honestly, in this season, with a shortened season, with a bubble season, when niggas sitting for the first month, anything can happen. So at first I was like, why would the Pistons do this? Especially they just want a guy to come in and do anything when next year's obviously going to be a better crop of free agents, and then the next year. But honestly, it looks like niggas it feels like an any given Sunday kind of situation. I think they're gonna make they play. They say, hey, if the Heat can make it during COVID, anybody might.
Exactly.
Oh, that's cute.
So I think they just shoot a shot.
That's wishful thinking.
And if you look at the bubble situation, it's a lot of players we didn't expect to blow up. So I'm thinking Detroit looking at it like, fam, any one of these players could be our TJ Warren. Any one of these players could be our Tyler Hero. Anyone, you get what I'm saying? Any one of these players could potentially be our Jamal Murray. This entire year has been so crazy and so random. why not take a chance on a player to see what happens?
I repeat, that's wishful thinking. I we'll see how it pans out. But I don't like Jeremy. Like I think he's a good player. He hasn't done anything to show me that he has the chops to be like a passer / playmaker. So if he does it, I will be thoroughly surprised. I would apologize, but as right now,
2 years ago, we didn't expect him to be a shooter.
Nah,
we didn't expect him to be a shooter 2 years ago.
You're right. I take that. You're right. That's absolutely right.
With him.
But that's some crazy improvement if he goes from being a non-shooter to be a shooter to then be a playmaker within a span of like 3 years. Like that's the type of advancement you saw from like Blake Griffin over the course of like 5 to 6 years, and he's like a number 1 draft pick. But let's go on to the last topic. We talked about the Atlanta Legends, Gucci and Jeezy earlier. Who is your favorite all-time rapper from Atlanta?
Ooh, all time.
Damn, I thought that was the same topic.
Hey man, I think Thug got that spot for me.
This is a great picture.
This is wild. This is
Thug
wild.
Hey!
This is wild.
Look at that guy.
This is wild. Great though. Wow. Yeah.
I don't know why the 21 Savage got me rolling though.
I always get so confused when I see Future without sunglasses. That always like
yeah. He's like a completely different person.
And I just have to assume I have to assume the 21's taller than Quavo, right? Like that's a safe assumption, right?
It different. He's definitely taller than Quavo.
Yeah, I thought so.
All right, that's something else.
It's just who he
jersey number 21.
It's just who they photoshopped him onto.
I know. Anywho, so
no, 2 Chainz 2.
For me, I'm gonna have to say Outkast and then T.I. I'll probably listen to T.I. before Outkast on a random day though. And then Living Legends Bow Wow and Soulja Boy by way of Atlanta.
I think my favorite.
okay, yeah. Because I would say Bow Wow, Ohio legend.
Hey man,
I was still thinking in my head, like my brain was trying to make that connection. I was like, Bow Wow, Atlanta, that's new. I think.
Oh no, when he went so deaf, he was in Atlanta and all that business. He was repping Atlanta.
Yeah, he moved over there. Yeah.
Yeah, I just knew he wasn't originally.
Trade.
Oh yeah.
I knew he wasn't originally from there. My favorite all-time artist act from Atlanta is Outkast. I remember discovering them for the first time. I think. Oh no! First time I heard them, of course, was being young as I am. Was I Choose You, which prompted me to go watch that on YouTube, which then saw me, see So Fresh and So Clean came out some years before when I was a lot younger and didn't care about music, which then prompted me to go see Hey Ya, which then I was like, well, let me just look up their music, which prompted me to listen to their albums, which I love, AT Aliens and damn, my brain's blank. Aquemini, damn, yes, an artist.
Carlos Aquemini.
Yeah, all that good jazz. They are my favorite all-time Atlanta acts. Growing up though, like before I really got real knee deep in that Outkast, because that came a little bit later. Before that, it was T.I. Just like Delon. I love T.I. That was my boy. Then T.I. went to jail, and I wasn't too fond of his music. He just had. I just was not messing with his music when he came out of jail. I
was so excited for him to get out, and his first song back was "I'm Back," and that's when he started rapping like T.I. right now. Shut the hell! Oh my god!
Y'all talk about T.I. being a clone. That's who the clone was. Y'all talk about Gucci having a clone when he got out of jail. That's who had a clone when he came out.
Yeah, Gucci clone.
Yeah, man.
T.I. had a clone.
Foreshadowed it for a long time. They foreshadowed it for a long time.
Hey man, he changed himself for the better. I think.
No. He changed. He made himself.
How y'all feel about him beef with 600 Breezy?
I don't care.
I think he beefing with everybody this last week.
I don't.
Hey man, he better. Hey man, might need to stay off the internet with his comments and opinions and commentary.
And he said he dressed better than Thug.
Who said that?
T.I.
T.I.
All right, who is your favorite
Hey,
current?
no, hey,
I ain't
That's
never.
it. Thug said.
I
Thug
ain't,
said. Thug said.
he paused for like 2 seconds. He just said, "Okay, okay."
I ain't never seen a fit from like T.I. was like, oh yeah, this the one, this hard. And the first thing is, the first thing popped in my head is that photo I sent to the group chat. I told Mary to rate it, and it's him in the middle of a club with the shoulder pads
Yeah.
on, with
The
the,
soda
with the
pads.
Eagles jersey on, with the blue jeans in the middle of the club.
Yes.
Everybody. It's not even Halloween. Like you could have said, oh, maybe it was Halloween. Everybody
Oh my
around him in the
God.
picture had
It
normal.
was Tuesday.
Yeah, it was a Tuesday.
It was a Thursday in March.
And this man, I've never seen a T.I. fit that made me
I
like this
just better
hard.
than you. Okay.
There's never been T.I. So who's your favorite current Atlanta act? Like just actively making music right
Devil.
now?
21.
Dead.
Who called?
You know my answer.
Oh yeah,
Current and all time. Thug. Current and all time. Both of them. I love Outkast. They second place, but yes, Thug. Sorry.
Who is making music right now in Atlanta? I enjoy 21 now more so than I used to. Maybe Future, which is that's probably my favorite right now currently. I actually take it back, Young Thug.
Core, what about?
No wait,
What about
that back.
Is this Mackinnon disrespect?
Who?
I love Mackinnon.
Who?
McConan. I'm sorry.
Oh no. McConan. He in that Bow Wow Soulja Boy category. He really from California, but he just moves at. Where is it? I think everybody moved to Atlanta to rap.
Yeah, it's become the mecca of rap in the past decade or so. Actually, yeah, it's Young Thug. Yeah. That's my current favorite right now. I enjoy him more than anybody else. When he features his own songs, I enjoy him a lot more than the rest of the field. So shout out to him. I thought he was going to name a bunch of different guys.
Language 2 on the way.
There's one guy that's clearly superior than the others. But all right, fellas, that's all I have for this episode. You guys have any closing thoughts?
Shrine that new Meg Thee Stallion, but don't rock me to sleep, please. It's for your own sake. Stream everything else.
Meg Thee Stallion's album was decent. Shout out to Goran Dragic for that extension. Jimmy Butler, your days are numbered. They're going to replace you very soon. That's all.
I thought that Meg's album was cool. From the first listen I had, it sounded. I like the sounds of it better than Fever. Although I don't think there's any individual song on there that I liked more than my favorite song on Fever.
ITCH, that was you on Fever? That was your favorite song on Fever?
I think my favorite song on Fever is the one she's like, bitch, I'm a star. You think it's Wishing? I think that's one. I think that's one I like the most. To be honest with you. And when the baby on the song, he on that song. That's probably why.
I gotta ask y'all a question.
What's up?
Don't be disrespectful.
Are the two of you implying? Are the two of you implying that this is a lackluster debut album? Because Mero was saying a lot in the chat, and I said, "Oh, okay, all right, okay, just asking." Because I heard "Don't Rock Me to Sleep," and I said I will finish this at a later date.
It was so two things on that. First off, it was fine for me. Like I was enjoying it until Body came on. And then that song has like the worst hook I've heard on a song in like a while. It sounded like Lil Pump hook bad. Like it was ridiculous. But also that's just having a lackluster debut is just it's what comes with these artists. Rappers, yeah. Well, no, it's what comes with these artists who put out project. This is my debut. We heard you, so you don't have the excuse anymore. You've been in the limelight. You've been holding your craft, and you're not going through all these things that make us say, well, it's their debut, or be pleasantly surprised. Like Corday, he just came out with an album. It wasn't the best album. It was solid, good, but great debut album because it's his debut album. This is Meg's 8th project. It's the same thing that happens with Baby. It's the same thing that happens with Reason. It's the same thing that happens with all these artists who are just, out here for years and put out their debut.
I also think that that song not Overtime. I think the song "Rock Me to Sleep" is that the name of the song? Is that the actual title of it? I think that's. I'm gonna go on a limb. I'm gonna defend Meg. I'm gonna say that was probably a label song that was forced onto her. because I think about Blank
I'm gonna
Face.
keep it real with you.
I think about
I'm
Blank
gonna keep it
Face
real
and how
with
that's.
you. She made that herself.
No,
She
I'm saying,
made that
but I'm
herself.
saying like how labels be forcing artists to make more pop songs, kind of like how like
But they usually just get them one.
like how Jay-Z forced J. Cole to make Workout. I feel like or how Schoolboy had Blank Face and, Blank Face. Think about Blank Face where it's really just cut.
What's the song with Tinashe?
No. The song with the last song on there with Miguel and it's Overtime. It's literally the last song on the album.
Oh yeah.
And it's like it's a R&B. The song don't sound like anything else on the album, and I kind of feel like Meg was kind of did the same thing. And like Schoolboy came out and said like, yeah, the label maybe put that song on there, so I put it at the end. This song, if it was meant to be like this crowd pleaser, this big hit, why is it at the back of the album where most people might not get to it?
I don't know what else supposed, man. Because the key, I would say, because like usually when the label make you make a song like that, they'll put like an actual R&B singer or a pop star on the song, and it was, and so for it to be just her, and then it's like singing, and it's like poppy, but it's not too poppy. It's I don't know, man. I don't know.
It's disgusting.
She should have called Doja Cat for that one.
She should have.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody would have said it. Like even when she's saying in the hook, just doesn't sound good. But that's like I said. But like I said, I probably will never like really listen to it again. I'll probably listen to it again so we can really talk about it next week maybe. But like at past wanting to like review it and talk about it, I don't think I'm ever gonna listen to it again. Shout out to Tina Snow, aka Jay Snow.
Hey man, I knew Meg's hooks were going to be awful ever since BITCH.
Yes,
gosh, that was awful.
But look at the bright side.
You're gonna call me that anyway.
Yeah. But look at the bright side.
Her
hooks are terrible, but that's only a sign that she's a great rapper. Because all great rappers kind of struggle with them hooks, man.
She has one hook on there, DeLon. I can't remember the name of it. I can't remember what she said, but I thought to myself, this is just as bad as BITCH. I cannot remember what the hell is she saying on this? Like, what is she actually saying?
It was every song after Body had the dumbest hook I've ever heard. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, gotta get them ghostwriters in there, chief.
Body.
Now, also, that's worse than
hips, titties, ass, waist. Hips, titties, ass, waist.
That's also worse than any Lil Pump hook I've heard. Because Lil Pump hooks are actually catchy.
He gave a Gucci gang. He gave a whipping a Whitney. Come on now.
But they're just over repetitive. Body makes you want to turn the song off. Like the minute she said bye, like there's nothing appealing about that.
What is that the one with the video I keep seeing on Twitter?
Yeah, bye.
Body, yada.
Yeah, no.
That's another thing. Her team is picking the worst songs to make singles and videos, and that is hilarious. They are picking the worst.
Granted, that the verses with her dancing to it, it makes sense. I get why they picked it, but good God, that hook was so bad. They should let the
beat ride. They hit a Kanye edits where he edits the songs after they're out. Just remove the hook, let the beat go. That's it.
It's awful, man. It's awful. Oh wait. Oh my goodness! Breaking news. I can't believe this is happening.
Figure it out though.
I can't believe this is happening while we're on the podcast. I might be mistaken. Reports: Gordon Hayward agrees to terms with Hornets. Side agrees to a 4-year, $120 million deal.
Huh?
Yeah.
Stop. We gotta leave. We gotta end this fucking podcast. Hey man, this is racism. Racism. This is racism.
I need a sign and trade that sends Terry Rozier to Boston. That's what I need.
This is racism. Oh my! Why does he get the money? How?
Wait.
Hey, Miles, turn it.
I'm confused.
Miles, turn it to.
I'm confused. They need a center. Why is they getting go? Bro, they just signed a white Nick Batum. That's pretty much what they just did. They need a center. So it's finna be Terry, Devontae, LaMelo, Gordon, PJ Washington.
I'm in a group chat with a full of Celtics fans, and they in there going nuts because they wanted when the deal came out, it was like, oh, we can get Miles Turner and Doug McDermott. That's cool. And they said, well, the Celtics wants Miles Turner and Oladipo.
Yep.
All of them in the group chat was saying, please settle for Turner and Doug McDermott. That's good enough.
Danny don't settle.
He's the king of
Danny
almost.
don't settle.
Who I tell it to? I told Sam when we was on the
He
podcast.
really is.
When we did that live reaction to the draft, Delon, I told Sam I think I'm gonna name the next episode "King of Almost." Word to Danny Ainge. I'm about to text him right now.
Bro, he could have got 3 rings in 3 seasons if he had made any one of them trades in any one of them seasons right now.
I'm so glad I just happened to look to the right because I'm on NBA. I'm on CBSSports.com and that just happened to pop up before I close off the show. I'm glad I saw that.
Kyrie
My God,
what do they think he finna do for
Kyrie and Gordon Hayward?
Bro, if I'm LaMelo, I'm asking for a trade right now.
he got help though.
Bro, he got helped by somebody that played the same. Okay, Avery Bradley went to the Miami Heat.
He did.
2 year, $11 million. 2 year, $11 million.
All right.
I don't like it. I kind of like
This
it.
damn podcast. I can't take this racism.
All right, guys. Thank you all for tuning in to another episode of Popular Man Podcast. Tune in next week for another episode of your
White
favorite
privilege,
podcast.
man. White
We'll see you
privilege.
then.